Most folks believe that getting rich comes down to working harder. That's probably the biggest myth out there, and it's likely why you're still struggling financially. Right now, some of your age is probably making more money as they sleep than you do all week. And no, they're not necessarily smarter or luckier than you. They just understand something you might not. There's a game being played, and no one filled you in on the rules. But that's about to change. I'm going to lay out exactly why 9 out of 10 people remain at the bottom, while a select few continue to get wealthier. Believe me, once you see it clearly, there's no going back. Let's face it, it's time to acknowledge what nobody wants to say. You've been fed a lot of lies throughout your life. Your parents told you to focus on school. Just look around. How many people do you know who followed that same path? They worked hard, got their degree, landed a decent job, and now they're barely scraping by. They can't afford vacations. They stress when their car breaks down, and they're just one emergency away from financial ruin. This wasn't the dream they promised you, was it? The system conditioned you to trade your time for money, working 40 hours a week or maybe even more. You clock into your job and get paid. Seems fair enough, right? Except there's a huge flaw. There's only so much time in a day. You can't work 25 hours a day or clone yourself. So your income has a glass ceiling and it's pretty low. On the other hand, wealthy individuals don't trade hours for money. They've figured out a completely different approach. Until you grasp this distinction, you'll keep running in circles while they move ahead. So, what sets the top 10% apart? It all begins with their mindset about money. People who struggle see money as something to earn, while wealthy individuals view it as something to grow. Here's what I mean. When an everyday person gets $1,000, they think about what they can buy. Maybe a new phone, some clothes, or a nice dinner out. That cash is gone in no time. But when rich people receive $1,000, they think about how to turn it into $10,000. They don't see money as something to spend. They see it as a resource. Wealthy folks invest in assets. Those who struggle tend to buy things. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket, like a business, real estate, stocks, or even a skill that others are willing to pay you for. On the flip side, stuff is everything else. That car you bought, it's depreciating in value every day. That's not an asset, it's a liability. Yet, nobody taught you this. Here's a little secret. Rich people know how to leverage their resources. They use other people's time, money, and skills to accumulate wealth. Meanwhile, you're out here trying to do everything alone, working your regular job while hoping for a raise that might come someday. Contrast that with someone else who hires a team, builds a business, and earns more in 1 month than you'll make all year. Let's also talk about risk. You've been told that risk is a bad thing. Play it safe. Keep your head down. Don't shake things up. But sticking to your comfort zone is the riskiest choice of all. While you're playing it safe with your paycheck, inflation silently chips away at your money. Costs of living keep rising, while your salary barely budges. That's not security. That's a slow decline. Wealthy individuals embrace calculated risks. They invest in ventures that might make them uneasy. They launch businesses even when failure looms. They recognize that the biggest risk is doing nothing. Another key issue is income sources. Most people rely on a single income stream, their job. Meanwhile, wealthy people often have 5, 7, or even 10 different streams of income. If one source dries up, they have several others to fall back on. You lose your job, and you find yourself in a panic, scrambling to apply for new positions. Can you see the difference? And here's a real eye-opener. The tax system is set up to benefit the wealthy. I'm not kidding. Business owners and investors enjoy tax breaks that employees will never receive. The government encourages entrepreneurship and investment because it boosts the economy, so they offer these incentives. In contrast, you're taxed on every dollar you earn before you even see it. The system is rigged, but not in the way you might think. It's skewed against those who only rely on traditional jobs. So here comes a moment of truth. You can continue doing what you've always done. Trading time for money, living paycheck to paycheck, hoping for a better future. That's what 90% of people typically do. And it's why so many stay financially stuck. Alternatively, you can choose a different path. Start learning how money really works. Stop spending every dollar you earn. Begin to accumulate assets, even if they're small. Maybe it's picking up a high-income skill or launching a side business. Perhaps it's investing a modest amount each month into something that can appreciate. The wealthy aren't exceptional or mysterious. They simply follow different rules. Now that you're aware of these rules, the question is, what's your next step? The wealthy aren't exceptional or mysterious. They simply follow different rules. Now that you're aware of these rules, the question is, what's your next step? Nobody is coming to rescue you. Not your boss, the government, or a lucky lottery ticket. If you want to break this cycle, it's up to you to take action. It starts with changing your perspective on money. Stop viewing it as something to spend and start seeing it as something to grow. Learn about assets. Understand how to leverage resources. Take smart risks. Build multiple streams of income. This is how the top 10% do it. And nothing is stopping you from joining them except your own choices. If you want more insights on handling money, feel free to subscribe.